This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with the legend, Greg Hansen. I'm going to keep just tacking superlatives on here and just see how red you turn. That's my hope. Let's touch base on a couple of different things that we might have missed here in the last few weeks. Number one, All-Star game. Ian Kinsler played in Tuesday night's event. It's the fourth of his career. He may not go down as the greatest ever baseball player from Tucson, but he's certainly in the conversation. Greg, tell me about sort of your favorite Tucson All-Star memory.
You know, Alex Kellner was a left-handed pitcher from Amphi, probably about the first year Amphi ever started. Mm-hmm. He got to the 1949 All-Star game for the Philadelphia A's. He won 20 games that year. He was basically a horseman, an outdoorsman who pitched. And after I moved here, I was at High Corbett Field one day watching a Toros game, and somebody said, "Hey, do you know that guy? Alex Kellner was in the All-Star game." And I went, "No way," because he looked like, you know, a 60-year-old guy from Tucson who rode a horse.
Yeah.
And so I went and introduced myself, and I'm not kidding you, for like 8 innings, he talked about his days as a Major League Baseball player. Mm-hmm. I would have paid for that. It was so good.
Wow. What was sort of his favorite baseball memory that you recall?
He played for Connie Mack.
Whoa.
Which, I mean, Connie Mack.
Connie Mack, I know. Wore a suit in the dugout. Yeah.
He talked about that. But, you know, unfortunately, he passed away, as did his brother Walt, who also played in the majors.
Right.
Alex passed away about 15 years ago, but he was telling me, like, how much money he didn't make as a Major League ball player, because he had to come back and work all winter.
Right.
And now Ian Kinsler, I'm estimating here, but I bet he got at least $250,000 for making the All-Star team.
He probably made more money by making the All-Star game than Alex Kellner did in his big league career.
There's no question about that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, moving on. Topic number 2 here. Odimae Elliott, the mother of U of A legend Sean Elliott, died last week. She was 78 years old, had been sick for a long time. For people who weren't here during those days, Greg, how important was she to not only the man Sean became, but just how well known was she to U of A sports fans? She
was a face that you recognized. Mm-hmm. She was always at home games. Mm-hmm. But the thing about her was she raised those 3 boys while working the midnight shift. Mm-hmm.
Basically by herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she raised them the right way. Her son, Noel, who gave his kidney to Sean about 15 years ago, is a first-class person. Mm-hmm. I mean, so she did it the right way. The best story she ever told me was she took Sean to be a tennis player. She took him to Westward Look Resort when he was about 13 because she knew he was athletic, and she took him to the tennis pro at Westward Look, and he worked with him genuinely for about an hour or 2, and he finally said, "Has this guy ever played basketball?" And she says, "Not really." And he said, "Why don't you try him in basketball? He could be a good tennis player, but I think he might be a good basketball player." Wow,
that's great. To me, the thing that stands out about Odimae Elliott is that she was a Tucsonan through and through her whole life. I talked to Sean last week, and he said she always liked living sort of on the edge of town where she could see out into the desert, and she loved things like that. And you know, even though Sean had all this success and all this money, the Elliots are still very much Tucson people. 2 of her 3 sons still live here. Sean comes back frequently. Certainly a sad day for Arizona sports fans. This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. Greg, one more thing before we leave here today. Grant Jerrett signed a contract extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Looks like maybe his decision to leave early wasn't as misguided as some would have originally thought.
In retrospect, I mean, I was wrong about him. Many others were, but probably me more than anybody. I didn't think he was going to make it.
Well, you were in the majority, though. I mean, your opinion was sort of in the majority. I think everybody wondered why he had left school after just 1 year.
And I think he left for the right reason. Yeah. He knew he wouldn't get as much playing time with Aaron Gordon coming in and Rondé Jefferson. And he was confident enough. Someone in his inner circle had told him, "You're a stretch 4, and there's so few of those. You can shoot like a guard. You're going to make it." And now he's got 2 years of guaranteed money. It's probably at least $1 million.
Right, and 1 year kind of up and down. But he was called up to Oklahoma City for a handful of games this year, right?
He just sat on the bench during the playoffs when they expanded the roster.
Okay, when they expanded the rosters, but spent most of the year in the D-League. Pretty good numbers, not super impressive, but good enough certainly to get that all-important guaranteed deal.
He played with a chronic ankle injury all year. In fact, he had surgery last week. He's out till almost December.
Wow.
So they must really have some faith in him to give him the money, even though he'll probably be in the D-League again this year.
Absolutely. All right, a reminder, azstarnet.com is now tucson.com, and on our new website, it loads faster, which is great. You can watch these videos a lot faster, which is great. You can get all of Greg Hansen's columns, tucson.com/Hansen. And check it out today. It's very, very cool, a new product, and I certainly like it, Greg.
Yes, I'm glad to be part of it myself.
Absolutely, and we're going to start getting some black and copper gear over here, I promise. Some golf shirts, maybe some pins or something. It'll be good. This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.